So this is, I think, one of it's a dream come true opportunity to speak to you, because I've been an admirer for many many years of your work, and the fact that your life is inspiring as well, as much as your work is inspiring. Your life and the way you lead it, and you speak about it with great frankness and honesty, and non-judgmental about the way you look at your own life is awe-inspiring. So I'm so happy to speak to you. My first question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, my first question is: you're an inspiring and much loved public figure, and with life's ups and downs, you've dealt with life chin on. So, do any of your on-screen characters, have they helped you in your process of healing, or it has been an off-screen person?
Let me first say that I acknowledge the kind of affection that you have just poured in. But I'm a work in progress. And I feel I have always tried to better myself, improve myself personally as well as professionally. So I take pride in telling myself that I'm work in progress. So, but at the same time, thank you so much for your acknowledgement. I feel the kind of in my healing process, you asked me if any of my characters which I played has helped. I normally don't. I work the other way around as an actor. I have never thought of using a character which I could benefit in my personal space. In fact, I've tried to see what I can take from here or what I've learned in life by observing other people into the character that I portray. Right. And that I started doing consciously, observing other people, consciously seeing. I don't know how I react. It's like I remember doing this film called Company, where my director told me that just excuse me, यहाँ पे noise नहीं करेंगे आप, सविता जी, noise नहीं करिए, sound नहीं दीजिए. So basically, the director said, Manisha, the way you stand and the way you tilt your head and the way you normally are, I want you to bring that in this character. And I was like saying, oh my God, I have never really observed myself. So I made somebody else to kind of, take pictures and random stuff. And that's how I brought in that body language of that character, that careless, cool, slightly, she stands like that and she doesn't stand straight and upright. So all that. So from my personal space, I've brought into the character. I've not really taken anything from the character to my personal space.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that a word which is associated with you is usually vulnerable. It's one word which keeps propping up in most of the interviews that I've watched as well. But as an actor, to be vulnerable and be totally yourself in front of the camera, how important is it? And on screen and off screen, you have this quality which is beautiful.
Thank you for saying that. But I feel vulnerability for an artist is a must. Because how do you create then? How do you, if you're in that space, then you're able to receive it and able to execute it. Right. So being vulnerable is a huge challenge in today's world. I have to say that, because it's a world where I would love to be guarded. I would love to be, protective of myself and, be really, but I also have this conflict with myself, saying if I'm not able to be vulnerable, how am I going to, if I'm not able to drop all the walls, and if I'm always going to be protected, how will I be, and as an artist, how will I create that? So for me, I felt it was necessary to be vulnerable,
Right.
and work from there. Work from there in that whichever character I have to build.
Yeah. But there's also fearlessness that comes from being vulnerable, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is fearlessness is another aspect. I feel it's not connected to vulnerability, but it's connected to being, you feel fearlessness and vulnerability is connected.
Right.
But I think it's two different sides of the say of a personality, but both the sides are very important. To be fearless, to I needed to be cultivating fearlessness, because after my cancer, the fear of cancer coming back was huge.
Right.
And so consistently I work on it. I don't think I'm free of fear.
Right.
Um, um, Honestly speaking, it takes a lot for a cancer patient to be completely free of the fear. I'm not too sure if anybody has reached that level, because the body remembers everything that it has gone through.
Right.
So, but I feel, you know, um, I mean, I would want to be fearless, but I don't know if I have achieved that or not. But I consistently had to live with the fear of a relapse. And at one point of time, I was tired of the fear. I was tired of living with this thing. If, what if it comes back? So I had to drop that. I had to drop that fear, and I had to say, okay, my best chances is if I get it, I get it, and I'll deal with it when I get it.
Right.
And so whenever the fear or anxiety or all that pops in, which it does, I made friends with it. I said, well, this is going to be a part of my life. This
Right.
is going to be something which I have to make peace with, that is going to exist with me. And it's okay. And, oddly enough, when you make peace with that, the impact of it kind of drops.
The sting is not there.
So
the sting
yeah,
is lesser.
yeah.
Beautifully said. I mean, it's easier said than done, and you've lived to tell the tale and tell it in this way. Also, the fact that we'll talk about your current role, which is Heeramandi. You worked with Sanjay Leela
Right.
Bhansali in Khamoshi, which was such a beautiful film with such beautiful songs. Right from
Right.
Aaj Main, I mean, Upar Aasmaan Niche to every other song in that film is still such a fantastic album, and the film as well, which is a fantastic role that you played. And now you're working with him again. So, what has been the difference that you see in the equation, and the fact that that was his earlier film, and now you're talking about somebody who's an established filmmaker with such big blockbusters and magnum opus films. How is it working with him again?
Well, at the core, Sanjay is same person. At the core, he is a simple man, hungry to create, hungry to tell his stories, want to see beauty on the screen, want to see perfection on the screen. That's what I see him as. And he was that even back then, when he was struggling to get his actors put together, put the film together. And when he was assisting Vinod, and we were friends. I see the same person even now. Yes, um, a lot has happened. He has, like become much bigger director, and everybody is in awe of his work, and everybody and should be. Um, but I know him. I see him the same old Sanjay. I resonate with him in the same way that I did before, because I always appreciated his talent. I always appreciated his I mean, when he gave me the script of Khamoshi, a few people had not, you know, uh, like the script or did not know him well enough and had rejected the project. But I believed in his vision. I loved the script that he had given me. So um, I feel I had faith in him back then. I have faith in him now. He's a man who's driven by passion for cinema, and he lives simply. You know, he has a simple uh, this thing. All his being is in the set. I think he breathes, eats, dreams, everything cinema and how well he's going to execute the next scene.
Right.
You know, so he's driven by that.
Right. Also, with the advent of OTT and which tackles very progressive thoughts, like we're talking about ageism, we're talking about fat shaming. There is a lot of progressive thought on OTT today. So, how do you see content on screen today with this kind of an additional input, which is very relevant? So, how do you see content today versus when you started out?
A lot has changed. Society has changed. People have changed. Women have changed. The work environment has changed. There are good side and there are bad side. The good side is all that you've spoken about. I find that people now are more aware, and I get a feeling that they probably get, from the OTT platform people, they do say you talk about issues in the project in a way that it doesn't sound preachy, but it also gives you some sort of a sense of what is correct and what is not correct. You know, this whole fat shaming or sexism or, all that. So in today's OTT space, you see a lot of newer faces. You see a lot of women-centric stuff.
Right.
You see a lot of, and I feel at the same time in the society, if we notice that a lot of women were speaking about the issues like Me Too movement and all that.
Right.
So a lot of issues when the society was coming up, which never did before.
Yeah.
And similarly, it was being shown in OTT platforms what is right and what is wrong, and some sort of influence on the society, which is excellent. Right. Which is really, it's forward thinking, correct. I know we have a long way to go, but at least we are walking that direction. Right. So in that sense, yes, a lot. But I also feel sometimes when I look at the quality of the songs, when I look at the quality, at the back then, there was some beautiful stuff back then. We took a lot of time in establishing something. Right now, it's
quick. Yeah.
People don't have patience, that in that whole quickness, the poetry is being lost. That stillness is being lost. Right. That terra quality, which we
slow cooking.
Love about,
Yeah.
That whole thing is it's being lost. So I feel somewhere it's going in a pace with all the good stuff, which is great, but it should also somehow give space to certain good things which was there at the back then in our storytelling. So let's see. It all depends on, how younger people are accepting it and how they are and how they think and how they are. Because, with every decade coming in, people's likes and dislikes are changing. And,
I watched your TED Talk, apart from a lot of other things that I watched. What a brilliant portrayal of your own life, and the way that you're very eloquent and when you speak and you're well articulated, your brilliance shines through. I wanted to ask you this one question, and I don't mean it in any condescending way to Indian cinema, but how much did you ever, if you did, have to dumb down to be this quintessential Bollywood film heroine?
There were many times when I felt that. There were many times I felt that, and I just realized that I just couldn't be that.
Right.
I just couldn't be that. And yes, there was a movie also made in this. I've forgotten where, I mean, our heroine was meant to be subservient, and doesn't know much about the world, and has no personal life whatsoever, whether it's a boyfriend or a husband, or I mean, it's unimaginable. When I entered the film industry, it was some sort of that sense was there. Like, you needed to portray a virgin image, and you needed to portray that I don't have a personal space because I'm very focused about my career. And in today's time, the girls are married, all girls have
But, yeah.
boyfriends, and they say it openly, and yet they're professional.
Right.
These things were like not
Taboo.
there for women. Of course, the heroes had the wives, or heroes had their girlfriends, and stuff like that, but the heroines could not do it. So
Right.
somewhere I didn't fit into these brackets even back then.
Right.
And I really could not fit into the bracket of being unintelligent and dumb and who don't understand anything. I would work, but I would withdraw to my own shell with my own friend circle who were way too normal and nothing much to do with the stardom. So I kept myself, and my parents also very down to earth. So I kind of somehow managed to escape those traps.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, you've been part of some truly iconic songs as well. Right from इलू इलू, which is your debut, Hindi debut film. Plus, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, I think after Dream Girl, which is like this quintessential, dream girl that we talk about, we have this एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, which is an iconic song in the Hindi film industry. And being part of such, and of course Bombay and so many other films which have such fabulous, also the songs are very very iconic too. To it, tell me about Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aisa Laga and the entire filming of 1942. What a beautiful film, such a classic, and I think it's forever kind of a film. And the fact that you look ethereal, it's not just even gorgeous. There is another quality of beauty that is simple and so elegant. And tell me about the entire the look of it, of course, and the fact that you were told by Vinod Chopra ji that there you have these two actors who are in love with you, what two big actors. So tell me about that process. It's very interesting.
Yeah, basically, Vinod, extremely passionate filmmaker. And to an extent, I have to give you an example. We were shooting sometimes in, say, a year in a location in Dalhousie. A year earlier, he had gone and planted flowers. So he wanted the real flowers and not the set ka puta, or, like that, immediate kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So he's a very passionate. And those days, I remember, everything was done in a detailing, and then he also, of course, very strict. He had mentioned it to me, Manisha, just make sure you're looking the best, because otherwise, how would it be believable that these two big heroes are going to be in love with you? So you need to be fresh. You need to do whatever it takes to look beautiful and ready with it. Like, do not ever give me an excuse, oh, this happened and that happened. No, I want you 100% of yourself, and you're this thing on. So I learned a lot from Vinod's passion, his commitment. He was the first one who actually in my life made me think what is good acting and what is bad acting.
Right.
I mean, I did not know what was good acting.
Right.
So he taught me all that.
So what did you do to look? Was there a lifestyle change? What did you do? Just generally curious.
I feel I don't remember in detail, but generally I think sleeping early, being fresh, and just a healthy lifestyle, and just seeing to it that when I'm there on the set, I also kind of, we used to go and watch the rushes. And we used to go and see how am I, whether I'm looking fine or not, if I need to change my hairstyle or my eyeliner or anything. So I guess at every step, there was some guidance and ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye type, And yeah, that was the main thing, I think.
Okay. And it's an iconic film because it was R.D. Burman's last film as well. So
absolutely.
Has so many classics
Absolutely.
associated with being the classic that it is. Also, the fact that there were
Yeah.
so many other filmmakers that you worked with. You worked with Mani Ratnam ji. You also worked with Sanjay Leela Bhansali. You worked with Rajkumar Hirani. So, what is your takeaway from each of these filmmakers? If you look at these four of them, what is that as an artist you picked up from their kind of filmmaking?
I think all of them have a specific quality, but all of them have one common thing, and they're extremely passionate of what they're doing. And their level of commitment is something else to the work that they do and the hours that they put in. And so with Raju sir, I have really enjoyed working. Extremely like a thorough gentleman. And although I didn't have a bigger role in the film, but I felt it was very easy for me to understand what he was expecting me to do. And I was ready when I came on set for him. So I don't remember struggling a lot in this thing. But say with Vinod, we had to do a lot of rehearsal. A lot of photo shoot, getting the look right, getting this right. And so a lot of rehearsal, a lot of hard work. With Sanjay, I mean, he's expecting you to shine better than the best. So he demands that out of all the actors that they have worked. I think all the actors and actresses, especially actresses in his films, they do better in his film than they do in any other film, according to me. So he takes that out from them. He really makes them work so that all of us shine our best. So I mean, everybody has different ways of going about doing this, but I mean, the commonality is that they love what they do. They love cinema. And they would rather be doing cinema than anything else in the world, so like that.
And you worked with some of the top names of the South as well, which is Mani Ratnam ji and Kamal Haasan and many others.
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience.
Well, I have always had a special kind of connection with South, and I'm also very keen to work in a good project now. Let's see if that happens, because in my younger days, when I was in my 20s, I did some really incredible, good quality this thing with these gems, super talented people. Rajnikant sir, Kamal Hassan sir, Mani Ratnam sir, Shankar, so many, and Arvind, so I enjoyed working with them. Those days, for me to go from Mumbai to South, I found like world of difference in terms of discipline and in terms of how much they stick to what they say. If they say 4 o'clock, it means 4 o'clock. It doesn't mean 10 o'clock. And that kind of made my life easy, because here I had to navigate. If it's a 7 in the morning shift, but if the heroes are coming or the director is coming late, that means what time should I be landing up? I don't know. I had to literally figure it out. What does that mean? What does that actually translate to, in action? But there in South, one thing I always said then also now also is that when they say something, they mean it. That's the thing.
Right. Okay.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see that strong women have it tougher because they don't play by the book, and but their life is rewarding enough?
Honestly speaking, I think a lot of women are strong.
Right.
Most of the women are strong. Whether you are portraying yourself as a coy and I think inside a woman at the core, a woman is very strong, you know. So my mother one day told me when I was talking about women's right and la da 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 da, and she said, "ये हमारे ज़माने में तो होता नहीं था." That means we were not strong enough. So I said, "No, mom, but now at least women can speak what they want, and you know they can demand and this that the other." I say, "हाँ, तरीके अलग हो सकते हैं." But we you know, in our own way, we also demanded. What she meant was, you know, we want big fools. We want big fools that you guys think we were. Right. That's what she was trying to say to me.
Oh, yes, of course. A very interesting point. I'll remember it now. It's quite a learning for me. Okay. Okay. The strongest woman you know?
My mother. For sure. I mean, it's closer to home. You know, the impression is my mom, who has stood by my dad in the toughest of time, and or when they fight, she can speak her mind without mincing anything. And she can take on anybody, you know, if anybody insults her or insults people that, you know, she's convinced about something. So I think fearlessness and strength I see in her. She's non-apologetic and she's not at all diplomatic. So she just says it. Sometimes I feel, oh mom, oh mom. You know? So I feel my grandmother, my dadi, also was very strong. She also had to endure a lot of tough situation, but with a lot of gentleness and with no talking, you know, not verbally, but through her action.
So. Wow, that is real strength. That is boss strength, actually. It's very difficult to be quiet and be very commanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about the next projects that you're doing and what do we see you in?
See, now I am focused only in Heeramandi at this point of time. Okay. And after this, we will see what is there, you know. I would, as an actor, the whole thing is I need to be inspired to do a project. I'm in a space where other things interest me, where like I like to spend time reading. I like to tell stories. So it's either a book, another book, maybe a script or a screenplay, and then maybe a film later on. I don't know, but I have other interests. You know, I'm also constantly for last 10 years been on this self-improvement sort of thing because I really need to navigate my life and all that. Especially after cancer. I have many interests. I love nature. I love hiking. I love this summer we all are going to the Swiss Alps, you know, for trekking. I have school friends who are my group, my core friends to go to the trekkings and stuff like that. And then I also have a group in Kathmandu. We go for hikes around Kathmandu, and you know, so being with nature, being you know, going for treks with friends and family, I would want to contribute a lot more in the society. I don't know how that's going to unfold and see, but I'm consistently thinking of how I could be useful for people. And as an actor, which is a major aspect of my life, but it is an aspect. It's not everything.
Right.
So I would wait for the right role and the right thing to come my way. And if I'm challenged and if I feel, okay, this is where I will shine as an actor, I will take that on. But until that doesn't happen,
you're not pushing.
I'm willing to take a pause and look into the other aspects of my life.
Amazing. And that's inspiring to me also, because I quit a 23-year-old career to start on my own with Filmfare. I used to be the editor for Film. So yeah, this is for me as well. The question was hidden because it was for me as well. And I wanted to ask you this question.
Yeah.
That the pace of life at a certain stage is something you decide and not let that it decide what you want to do.
Full control over our time on this planet. So, as much as we can, when the destiny hits, then of course we have to flow with the destiny, but as much as we can, creating a life, a fulfilled life is our responsibility as a human being.
Thank you so much for speaking to me. I think I can sit, and when I meet you, I think I can talk for hours. But yeah, you're governed with time. But I am so thrilled to speak to you. It's a pleasure. It's inspiring and so much to learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.